Hey everybody, guess what today is? Today is Social Media Day. It is the second annual Social Media Day. This is began by Mashable.com. If you don't know Mashable, they're all tech, social media, news, small business in that sector, all the way up through the giants, the Microsofts, the Apples, aggregate news source. And they've been having Social Media Days. The second one, and they're aim here is to get people together to talk about social media, embrace social media. It's very cool because we're taking social media from the web and using it to bring people together in person, get out from behind our computers, and actually meet people. It's very cool. You can use meetup.com and see what's going on around you. They're all over the place. Obviously, Mashable has things going on and people are starting up their own stuff. So it's just a matter of where you are. But it's social media, bringing people together, online, offline. This is a big thing. Some of you still don't believe in the power of social media, still not quite on board with social media beyond letting the Facebook world know what you had for breakfast. So, I'll tell you a couple things. One, the Pope, the leader of the Catholic Church, put out his first tweet today. If somebody like that, a religious monarch, patriarch, is embracing this movement, that says a lot. They're not usually early adopters of technology, as you can imagine. President Obama is no longer having his staff do all of his tweets. He'll be putting out some of his own. Obviously, he's too busy to sit in front of the computer and just tweet all day long. We would hope. But there are times where he's going to put out his tweets. We've had two other things in social media news. MySpace was sold last night to an ad company for $30 or $35 million. Not a whole lot. How the mighty have fallen, I suppose. MySpace was one of the first. They showed up. They blew up the scene and they failed to innovate, failed to change, failed to find the future in social media. I got overburdened with goofy profiles and JavaScript and viruses and ads, and it became very kiddie. And they got sold. $30 million. It's a real shame. But this is what happens. We've seen leaders and innovators in industry, other parts of the industry fail. It happens. The biggest news probably of them all is Google+. What is Google+? It is Google's new social network. Mixed reviews. People who have used it say they love it, but can it sustain, can it unseat the current king? If we look at Google's history, we have to say no. Google Wave was a flop. Google Buzz was a flop. They just didn't worm their way, throughout the space the way they were supposed to. They were great ideas, they were halfway done, and they failed. Looking at Facebook, it's hard to say that they'll be unseated by Google as well. But Google's got the money, they've got the drive, hopefully they keep it together, they do the right thing, and they can be a real competitor in this space. I think competition drives innovation. I think it's really important to have more than one out there. I'm certainly excited to use Google+. So we had invites that came out, and then Google shut down invites. They were just so overwhelmed with new members that everything got shut down. So we're all waiting for the ability to get back in on that right now. Those who have used it say it's amazing. There's a demo, a tour out there. Feel free to check that out in the meantime. So we've got a giant that's starting up in the social space right now. Real go, Google+. We've got political leaders, religious leaders, all jumping on that bandwagon. All this happens on what was deemed Social Media Day. This has been planned for months and months and months that it was going to be, so just goes to show that we didn't just make a Social Media Day when social media news happened to make everybody love it. It's all been planned. It all just happened to coincide. It's because social media is evolving every single day. You can get on board. If you're not really sure what to do beyond Facebook, and aside from Vig the Geek, JVig Media, we do social media consultation, how to get your brand online, get it exposure, get it growth, interact with your customers, manage your reputation. You can go to jvigmedia.com for that. Sometimes I just, like today, I interject social media stuff into Vig the Geek. because today's news, I think, it applied directly to the average consumer, the Facebook user, the average technology consumer, as opposed to just social media brands and companies. So a little bit of both. Check out JVig Media. Stick with me here on Vig the Geek. But whatever you do, embrace social media. All right, and I'm sure there's more social media news coming down the pike, and we will be talking soon. A lot of the great things on the way. Talk to you soon.